One thing I like about repeat offender John Riddle is the man's a big guy with big guns, a certified badass. And whenever we talk self-defense, we end up talking about things like fire safety and gardening. The man gets it based on a career in the Air Force, law enforcement, and combative instruction. In today's interview, John's second on the show, we talk about how to stay safe during those holiday shopping trips. You know, when you're tired, distracted, and carrying loot. If you haven't yet, please hit like and subscribe. You'd be surprised how much that helps. While you're at it, tell your friends, find us on Instagram and Facebook, even back us on Patreon, where you can get early access and other things for just a few bucks a month. Thanks for being here today. Now let's get to work. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Safest Family on the Block. I'm your host, Jason, and with me today is one of our repeat offenders, Master John Riddle. Hello, John. Welcome back.
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it. How you been?
Absolutely. Fantastic. How about your own self?
Doing well in these crazy days.
And they are at that. No matter what, although we're recording this kind of, it was hopefully the tail end of the pandemic days, and you might be watching this 10 years from now. It's probably crazy whenever you're watching this too. But John has a list of credentials and qualifications longer than my attitude problem. But I'll give John just a second to brag on himself a little bit. John, tell folks who you are and what you're about.
Well, my name is John Riddle. I own a company in South Florida in the Boca Raton area called Riddle Defense. And we're a kind of a hybrid self-defense school. I put a little bit of Krav Maga, combatives, jiu-jitsu, boxing into my grouping that I like to train and that I train everyday citizens in. We have classes here twice a week. I run specialty classes such as women's self-defense classes, pepper spray classes, in and around the vehicle, parking lot safety, elevator safety, ATM safety, gas station safety. Then on the other end of the line, on the other side of the house, I run a firearms company. So, and it's under Riddle Defense also, where I train people in concealed carry firearms classes, intermediate and advanced handgun, carbine, and shotguns. So we've been doing, we were just talking about it. I've been up and running here 12 years now. So it's a great run so far.
And among those 12 years, you spent a great deal of time in law enforcement. So you saw the bad guys in their native habitat and learned their ways, and also got some major accolades like you were black belt as instructor of the year, coming on to 10 years ago now, but you've only gotten better since, I imagine.
2012 was the black belt instructor of the year. 28 years in law enforcement here in South Florida, city of West Palm Beach Police. Half of that career was with SWAT, and some of it was in the training division, and some of it was working in the street level narcotics unit. So I have and patrol, of course. So I've got a lot of the street experience and the tactical experience to run along with everything. And I bring that into my class when I teach the civilians. I like to bring that into them because a lot of people don't teach that side of it, right? They don't, where the mindset of the bad guy, right? I've seen a lot of bad things happen to good people. And my objective since I got out of law enforcement is to anybody that comes to me is to educate them so they're not one of those victims. You know, so
that's why we're bringing you on today. We are recording this on the 1st of October, and we don't know when you're watching it, but it's probably going to air in early December. And holiday safety is such an important topic where, on the one hand, we've got good guys walking around, distracted, tired. They're going to places that they're not used to going because they're out shopping. They're often out later than they plan to be because errands pile onto each other. And on the other side, the bad guys who, although they're cowardly poltroons and scum, they're good at their jobs and they are aware that there are people walking around with much more valuables on their persons than under normal circumstances. Right. So there's a level of elevated risk. And I figured we'd talk today about some holiday safety tips. And I'd like to just start with, when we're going shopping, when you and I first started hanging out, it was at one of Singh's things, and you gave one of Singh's big seminars, and you gave a talk about, you were trying to talk about situational awareness, but everybody wanted to talk about guns. And then you and I sat down and nerded out about situational awareness for a few hours.
Sure.
And you described this great activity you can do well before you go shopping, where you go out and you people watch with a tactical mindset. Would you mind telling folks about that activity, that game?
Sure. It's something that I learned in law enforcement. Okay. It's almost a necessity in law enforcement that we be able to watch people and be able to address a situation before it happens. Okay. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it profiling if you want, whatever you want to call it. But for me, it was a safety situation that kept me alive for 28 years. Because in some circumstances, I've come across people that wanted to hurt me. And because of my being able to be aware enough and to see, I was able to cut it off before it happened. So for the average person going out and shopping or going out to dinner, I don't care where you're going. It's the mall is one of the best places is the schoolhouse. Okay. So we go to the mall, we walk around the mall, and we watch people. I watch people all the time. As I'm walking through the mall, I may pick someone out and just watch them as I'm walking and follow them and watch their body language, watch to see if this person is aware of their surroundings or if they are just totally, involved mentally in something, maybe having a problem at home and they're thinking about it. Maybe they're engrossed in looking in the store window at something they may be thinking about purchasing, and they may already have bags of products that they bought from someplace, and they're not really guarding them very well. So I watched this person in the mindset of somebody who wants to snatch these things from them. And I look around and I see, okay, what's my opportunity time? Where's my window? Where do I go after I do this deed where I'm not going to get caught? Right? Now, eventually they get caught, but it's a matter of how fast can I get out of this situation once I commit the deed. So I look around, and in a shopping mall, everybody's busy, everybody's walking, doing their own thing. I watch and I look for an escape route first. I look at the person and I say to myself, okay, is this a formidable person to go after? If I go after them, are they going to fight me? Are they going to make noise? So I want to look at somebody that may be a woman who has children with her. Mm-hmm. The first thing she wants to do is protect the kids. The products, the gifts, whatever's in the bags, the purse I can get. Mm-hmm. Is she going to fight with me? I doubt it. Now, when I approach, how fast can I approach? Do something to her, strike her, knock her down, take what I want, and go. Now, once I start to go, I have to get out. So I have to find that exit that's closest for me and get out and get away as fast as possible. Now, the thing is, once I do strike, how fast? First of all, once I do strike, who sees it? Can I identify me? Can I identify which way I fled? And am I out of there in time before the mall security people or the police arrive? Because the clock is ticking, right? So that's just a game that I play. That's a game that I taught my wife to be able to be aware. And if you get in the mindset of the criminal, it'll make you a better good guy. It'll make you better at being in self-preservation.
Okay? And by doing that kind of as a habit, what we learn is we notice the things that other people do that make us think that person will be easier to victimize. And then we stop doing those things. And we locate the areas where you'd be most vulnerable. And we learn to be more alert in those areas.
And I've interviewed bad guys who have attacked people. And it's, why did you do this? Well, they were easy. What do you mean easy? They weren't paying attention to what was going on around them. They never saw me approach. They were on their phone, and there's things that they have that's like a check off boxes. Number one, am I paying attention to my surroundings? Number two, am I by myself? Do I have an injury? Am I walking with a limp? Am I on crutches? Am I in a wheelchair? What is my age? Am I elderly? Am I young? Am I a mom with kids? Okay. Am I on the phone as I'm walking and I'm not paying attention? They look at this from a distance. It's almost like a job interview. They look at it from a distance. They're interviewing you without you even knowing it as to whether you are worthy enough for them to go in and attack. Now, once they select you from the other guy, okay, if you look like you're going to be able to take care of yourself, they're going to find somebody else. Now, once they interview you from afar and they check those boxes, they're going to close the distance on you. And they may come in and something as simply as approach you and say, "Excuse me, sir, can you tell me the time?" And they get right up to you. And look, if they can put their hand out and touch your shoulder, they're too close. Okay? So the interview from afar and then close up. And once they're there and they're talking to you, then they get ready to do the attack. Okay? So how do we stop this? Right? And that's usually the question. How do I not become a victim in this situation? So it's going to be something like, well, number one, you have to be situationally aware, right? We go through Jeff Cooper's color codes. If you're in level white or color code white, you are two places. One, in your home where you're safe, where you're allowed to be in a color code white, or you're in color code white and you're outside in the world and you're totally ignorant to what's going on around you.
And I think that's especially dangerous during the holiday season when you're in the mall and you're going through the gift list you got to do, and you're thinking about the dinner that's happening the next week, and you're trying to figure out transportation, maybe custody things. You've got so much on your mind and you're fatigued. It's very easy to be in that space during the holiday season.
Absolutely.
And more important to kick yourself out of it.
And absolutely, you're absolutely right. And the holiday season is a shopping spree for bad guys.
Yeah.
Okay. They, you pull into the shopping mall, it's crowded. It's parking is at a minimum, right? Depending on what time you get there. You get into you park way out on the back 40, and you go into the mall and you're by yourself and you're doing some shopping and you get involved in the shopping. And before you know it, time passes. It was daylight when I went in. It's dark now. So now I have to walk back out to the car, and I've got all these packages. Here I go. I'm going to do it. Well, the smart thing would probably be, number one, time yourself when you're in shopping, okay? And try to leave while it's still daylight. You've got a lot of packages. Get the mall security guy, have him come around and ask him, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm parked way out there. It's dark. I don't like walking at this time of night into the parking lot. can you give me a ride in your golf cart with my packages to my car? Okay. And I am sure they will do that for you. Okay.
And I want to be very clear also about that advice. This is not just for portable sized women. If you're a 30-year-old ex-college wrestler with 17 black belts and you're feeling sketchy, there's no reason not to go ahead and get the extra help. None at all.
Absolutely. And yeah, but we have to guys have to allow themselves to do that, right? Mm-hmm. The guy with the 17 black belts has to allow himself to say, you know what? I'm kind of busy right now. My hands are full, and maybe I'll just get some help from the security guy over here, see if he can give me a ride out there to my car, and live to fight another day. If I have to. But it's something that is at your disposal when you're there at the mall that people don't even think of. They don't even think about calling the security people, say, to get a ride on their golf cart, and they take all these things and they're hustling out to their vehicle. And bad guys, they sit in a car, and we've had some of these types of auto burglaries, we call them here in my area. That's a break-in of a car. Somebody breaks into the car. And what happens is they spend their day at the mall, they shop, they get a lot of stuff, they take it out to the car, they put it in the car, they lock the car up, they turn around, they go back into the mall to finish shopping. Well, people are sitting in their vehicles watching for this. And they see it and they say, okay, good. Now, when you're out of the way, when you're gone again, that's when and there's nobody else around, that's when they take the time to get out of the car. They'll break into your car and take the stuff out. Okay. We've had numerous incidences of that happening in our local malls. Okay. So if you're going to do that, my suggestion is you put it in the trunk of the car. Lock it in the trunk of the car, right? But yeah, these are just some of the small things that we can do to help protect ourselves and also protect what we're putting good money, hard-working money out for.
Now you brought up something really important that I thought, which is the state of where you go shopping during the holidays. Where the parking lot is full, so you're walking further, there's lights, Mariah Carey's song is playing in the background and you can never escape it. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of stress, it's crazy. There's a lot of sensory overload going on, which leads to fatigue, which leads to bad decisions. As a police officer who's done civil unrest, done demonstrations, I'm sure you have some training and experience about how to stay focused on the right things when you're in a situation of sensory overload, and how to stay safe, 2 hours into the shift. And would you mind sharing some of those with the viewers?
And I mean, as far as the civilian goes, and what I look at and what I still do today for myself and my wife, when we drive to the mall during the holidays, and again, it's crowded, a lot going on, where are we going to park? That's the first thing, right? Where am I going to park and how much money am I going to spend? They're the two major things in my head, right, at that time. So parking. I roll into the parking lot and I'm looking, and of course, everybody wants to get the closest spot to the store. Not everybody can, so we have to deal with that. So we have to think strategically or tactically about where I'm going to park. Now, as I'm parking the vehicle in the spot, as I'm rolling up on it, I should be looking around to see what's going on around me, even before I get out of the vehicle. As I'm pulling into that slot, I'm looking around. When I feel comfortable about being there, okay, I shut the vehicle down. I take a couple minutes, shut it down. We get out of the vehicle. As I get out, I stand up. I check my surroundings. All right. I close the door. If my wife is with me, she gets out, she's closing the door, she's looking around because I've trained her to do the same. Vehicle gets locked. and we start to move. As we're moving, our head is on a swivel. We're just looking around. We're not paranoid, okay? I don't want your guests to say, man, this guy's really like out there, right? No, as I'm walking, I'm just looking. I'm looking around and I'm picking up sounds. I'm picking up movement of people. Do things sound like they should for this area, for this time, all right? If I'm hearing screeching screams, that's a clue. There might be something wrong someplace. So, and I would have to take some type of action. So my head is on a swivel. I'm looking around a little bit as I'm walking. I'm listening. I'm picking up movement towards me, coming up past me. And then as I enter into the store, is the store activity normal for that store at that time of year? Just like if I walk into a bank and as I open the door and I step into the bank and people are sprawled out on the floor, that's a clue there's a problem. And I should probably turn around and get out of there as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So
before we get out of the parking lot, I want to you talk about this head on the swivel, the alertness, the awareness, and how it's not paranoia. One of the nice things about being alert and not being in our heads thinking about our shopping list is we not only spot the people sprawled out because the bank's being robbed, or the 3 teenagers strolling through the parking lot in a suspicious way, but we also see that really cool light display on the tree, and we see that kid, that cute 7-year-old walking with grandma on their arm. That's just adorable and heartwarming. And by being alert, we see those things that we would have missed too. And there's also way more of those things than the dangerous, scary things. So It's not about being paranoid. It's being about mindfully aware of our environment. And it can bring us joy, not just keep us safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% with you on that. So now let's throw something into this to help us protect ourselves a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And that is, I'm a huge proponent, and I don't care what anybody says. I've used it for 28 years, and it works like nobody's business. Pepper spray. 4-ounce container of a keychain unit, okay? If it's used properly, it's very, very effective. Now, there is a very, very small percentage out there that it doesn't affect. I've run into one on the job, okay? But for the most part, it affects pretty much everyone. With pepper spray, we have to have the container in our hands. It can't be left back in the car. It can't be in wife's purse. I give these classes to ladies a lot. So ladies, how long does it take for you to get your cell phone or a tube of lipstick out of your purse? Oh, and they laugh and they say, yeah, you're right. It takes forever. Yeah. Don't put your pepper spray in your purse. Keep it in your hands. You're that much more prepared with it in your hands to respond. Because the bad guy, when he decides to attack, he's not going to wait for you. Hold on a second, let me get my pepper spray out. It's not going to happen, all right? So you should have it in your hands, walking from the car to point B, the store. Then when you're getting ready to go into the store, put it in your purse. And when you're in the mall, you're walking around, doing your thing, shopping, you get what you need. When you're getting ready to leave to go back, before you step out of the store, get your car keys out, have your pepper spray in hand for when you get back to all the way back to your vehicle.
And as a note for the holiday season, that might mean buying fewer things on that trip to the store so you have a free hand as you walk out.
Absolutely.
It's a little inconvenient, but it's worth it.
We don't have to get everything in one pass, We can, we'll get something, we'll go out and we'll get these people today. And then tomorrow we'll go, or next week we'll go get these people, get them taken care of as far as the holidays are concerned. We don't have to get everything in one shot. right?
And also a lot of retailers now, to compete with Amazon, they will deliver free anything you buy in the store.
Yeah.
And that's another thing you don't have to carry back to the car, filling up your vision, filling up your weight bearing capacity, and filling up an arm. So these are all ways to keep yourself safer. Very small things you can do.
Amazon is a great tool. We use Amazon a lot when shopping, so it's a great tool right to your door.
I mean, you get the sense Jeff Bezos is a bit of a tool himself, but you can't fight the convenience.
Yeah, you can't help the convenience, man. When I ordered something in the morning and it was there that night, that's scary.
Yeah. We have an Amazon distribution center 1.5 miles from the house.
Yeah.
And so if I order stuff in the morning, it is often here before the end of the day, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But even without Amazon, in the mall, at the store, a lot of the big box retailers especially will deliver for free just to keep up the competitive edge. So you can buy the PlayStation for your kid and then just fill out some paperwork, and then they'll deliver it to you so you don't have to carry it out to the car.
There you go.
Which is also nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, perfect. So, you got to look at your awareness level with situational awareness, and then you've got to have maybe, if you feel compelled to have a weapon, then pepper spray is going to be the thing to carry. Not everybody can carry a concealed firearm. There's a lot involved in that, okay? That can be a whole different show. And I've been teaching firearms for 30 plus years. So not everybody's into them. There's a lot involved in it. So for the most part, pepper spray to put a hurting on somebody pretty good and give you that time to clear and escape. And that's what you're looking for. I think I just lost you.
Yeah, someone's trying to call in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
So, yeah, so I think that's the best bet, And then again, when you're inside the mall and you're moving around, just be aware. Just be aware of where you are. Be aware of the time factor. Be aware of daylight, nighttime, and I think you'll be pretty good from there.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of the dangers can be mitigated or avoided entirely just by applying a degree of, maybe, I don't necessarily want to say tactical, but smart planning to our shopping expeditions. Just like when you were on the SWAT teams, you didn't just kind of run in to do a raid willy-nilly on the spur of the moment. You planned it carefully, down to very close details. And planning our shopping expedition to what we're going to do it between this time and this time. We're going to buy these things. We're not going to buy those things. Do I have my pepper spray? Do I have my flashlights? Do I have my shopping list? And then executing that plan precisely.
And am I using cash? Am I using credit cards? How much cash do I have on me? Okay. So again, going back to what I said at the beginning, this is a shopping spree for bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's either, if you get robbed at gunpoint for your purse or your wallet, give it to them. Give it to them. Don't fight them. Just give it to them. You've got people to go home to, and that are more important. You can get things back later. But yeah, it's just having that plan, like you said. When we were doing things on the SWAT team, they were precisely written out and executed with precision. You could take that same mindset and plan your mission of shopping at the mall the same way. Okay, we're going to go at this time. We're going to spend this amount of time there. I'm not bringing cash. I'm bringing a credit card. What time are we going to go to the mall? Okay, we want to park close, so we might want to go a little earlier than we can, than we would normally. We're going to spend a few hours in there, and that is it. I want to get there at daylight. I want to leave at daylight. Some of these things can mitigate incoming issues that would happen during the nighttime. if you stay in there too long. And what happens? Stores stay open later. The mall stays open a little bit later. They may open an extra day, and for convenience of people. But it's still, the best thing is if you can get there earlier and get it done during the day hours or closer.
Yeah.
And just be situationally aware when you're moving, of what's going on around you. Have that pepper spray in hand.
And that's excellent advice all year long. And it's just a bit more important during the holidays when we have more distractions and we're a higher value target.
Absolutely, man. Christmas, Thanksgiving, it fires up, right? Yeah. In law enforcement, we see robbery and burglary statistics rise. Okay. And it's all because it's crimes of opportunity. Bad guys know you're going to the mall. You probably have cash. You've got credit cards. They steal your credit cards. They take off. If they can score something on your credit card within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they might get something. They might be able to fill up the tank of their vehicle. They might run out and grab something for their kid. It's a matter of time. It's a timing issue. So let's take a look at this. You drive by people's homes, say during the Christmas holiday, and they have kids. Or maybe they don't. But the trash is put out to the road to come pick up, right? And it's a big box. It's a 52-inch wall-mounted, Samsung TV. Thank you. I know what you got in the house.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at here is, if you're going to when you do throw trash out, try to break it down enough that it can go inside the barrel. Don't put full boxes out telling me what you have in the house or what you got for Christmas, because.
And if you have a fireplace at your house, that box makes a great second stage fire starter. You put it in over the paper, and just burn it for the holiday fire until it's done.
There you go. I'm in South Florida, so we don't have any. I don't have a fireplace. Yeah. I just step outside. But it's best to try to conceal any trash that's going out, be picked up, in the barrels that you have. And if it means, trash day is Monday and Thursday, maybe I fill that barrel up or 2 barrels up, depending on how many you have at your home. And there's still more trash at the house, then maybe the next collection, I put the rest of it out, instead of trying to put it all out on the road where people know what the gifts and everything that you got for Christmas are in that house. Because then we find between Christmas Day and New Year's, when people have visitors and they're out showing out of town guests their area where they're going, they may, nobody's home, then we have burglaries. A burglary is a forced entry into your home, your apartment, your house, whatever it may be. And during that time, man, it's still shopping time for the bad guy. All right.
And one thing to keep in mind also is with security on our social media, if you're at grandma's house for the weekend and a bad guy has targeted your home because they saw the big screen TV box and the brand new computer box and the brand new camera box, and it's not hard to find out who you are and find you on social media. And then they find out you're at grandma's house for the weekend. They know your house is empty with all those beautiful toys.
Yeah, you don't have to go announcing to Facebook or Instagram what your travel plans are. Yeah, because like you said, and hey, with social media out there now, people stalk other people. They know they can find out the vicinity in which you live. You're a business owner like me, and I'm out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's very easy to find where I am, where I work, you know. And I've had some strange people come by. All right. So don't think that you cannot be found on Facebook if people do their homework, you know, and they're pretty savvy today. So, you know, if you go on there and say, yeah, I'm going to be at Aunt June's for the week, you know, I hope everybody in Facebook land has a great holiday. Well, okay, you're going to be gone a week. I've got some time. You know, I'll drive by a few times, check it out, and then one night I'll come by and break in. You know, and it's
while you're at it, make sure Aunt June isn't posting about how happy they are to have you there in the living room.
Exactly. So these are the small things that I think in excitement people don't really think of. You know, a lot of people, the response is, oh, it's fine. It's, you know, it's no big deal. There's nobody that really knows me, you know, and believe me, I hear that a lot, you know, and if it never happens to you, good on you, you know, but there's always that chance. And there is a big chance that you know somebody that it's happened to, you know, so it can get that close to you. You know, it could be
it's on that list of things that are fine or even kind of silly until they suddenly aren't.
Right. All right. So, you know, taking some advice from your podcast here and being able to be more aware, not only when you're out and about, but on social media too, and what you say is going to help secure give you a better new year.
Absolutely. And I want to put a shameless plug for John's first interview when it comes to keeping your home a harder target from burglaries and home invasions. We have an hour-long talk where John gives some great advice about that as well. Yeah. And that's applicable in the holiday season and all year round.
Yeah, that was a great show. And I know you had some other people on also. But you know, I did a video, a short video. It was about 3 minutes, and I posted it on LinkedIn, and it was on being safe when you're pumping fuel in your vehicle at a gas station. I shot it. My wife and I were going out and running a 5K, and we were on the way here to the gym to get ready. And I said, you know, before we get there, let's stop. I want to shoot a real quick safety tip. It was 4:45 in the morning. Now, I didn't want anybody at the gas station. You know, I wanted it quiet. I wanted it dark. So we shot this like 3.5 minute video. I posted it on LinkedIn and I think some of the other social media areas. LinkedIn got 60 views in the first hour. And I'm up to over 5,000 views now on that 3 minute video, you know. And it's just about being aware of what to do when you're around your vehicle, pumping fuel into it, where you may have some undesirables in that gas station parking lot that might want to come up to you and want money or start some trouble with you while you're pumping fuel. So it worked out really well. I'm getting ready to do another one on parking lots.
Excellent.
So, you know, getting ready to do that. So, yeah, it's just, you know, the tips that you give out on your on this podcast, you know, Safest Family on the Block is God, it's so valuable, you know, of what you're doing, you know, and there's things out that you put in along with your guests that people most likely don't think too much about, you know. It's a good idea, what Jason said. You know, it's you know, we're his guest, and I think you're doing a very valuable thing for the community.
That's really kind of you to say. I really appreciate it, and of course, I appreciate all the knowledge and wisdom you brought to the show. Because, you know,
thank you.
I'm a fan. You're the expert. You know, and it's great to have you on board. But folks, I really encourage you to check out John's LinkedIn page. Check out his other interview on the show. And John, you've got a podcast of your own now.
I do. It's called the Condition One podcast with John Riddle. And we talk about training. We talk about either fitness training, self-defense training, martial arts, firearms training. And then if I can get people on to also who have survived encounters. And how did you survive it? What led to that encounter, and how did you survive that encounter? And I've had 2 so far that were very good. Yeah, one young lady had a run-in at a gas station. All right, and then James Guthrie, he was on my last one on my first season, and his nickname is Machete James, for the reason of him and 2 ladies in his office were attacked by a machete-wielding individual. And he had to shoot this individual. And the outcome, the whole from beginning to end, you hear James, like we are here on the Zoom. He's sitting there and he's telling me about it. And we're running the actual security camera incident. And it's very interesting what happens in that situation, and what our brain thinks we can do and what we actually do in situations like that, right? So we try to bring that onto the podcast also, so we talk about training, mindset, situational awareness, and then we talk to people who have had incidences take place.
Excellent. We'll make sure there's a link to the show in the notes, so everybody who's watching can go check them out. They're very valuable.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you everybody for watching.
Anytime, man. I'm happy to come. It's easy.
Outstanding. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right, Jason. Take care.
Today's episode was brought to you by our heroes over at Patreon: Todd Elner, Beth Edwards, Douglas Sedevy, Hugh O'Donnell, Art Brick, American Institutes of Kenpo, Beth Pratt, Richard Hubbard, Wayfinder Advantage, Kit Bradley, Lee Douglas, Amy Rivers, Neil Fastine, Kate Carlson, Ron Payton, Jenny Coakley, and Chris Jordan. Join the illustrious heroes by backing us at patreon.com/safestfamily. If you can't, that's okay, but do consider liking us and subscribing here on YouTube or sharing your favorite episodes on social media. Even a little bit on your end can make a lot of difference here. Thank you for watching today. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.